This is Rishkit's overview of the Samael organization. So to start with, and I have every Samael figure that is currently out right now, but what you're looking at right here is the two leaders that you can choose from. Ophiel, who is more of the combat monster with some slight debuffing abilities, and Dinah, who is kind of the support specialist, but also very devastating at range damage. Ophiel has high attack and damage stats and has pretty good defense, 9 defense, 3 armor, and has some of the most devastating attacks in melee in the game. He also has some ranged debuffs, including a ranged attack that causes blind. Should also be noted that he has an advantage card, which can make him into a dark summoner. Samael is capable of having the most summoners in the game. They have 2 native summoners to the faction, plus they can always pick up Beleth the Wanderer. Dinah, who she can blast, she can blind, she can shoot ranged attacks around corners. She has 3 models here. These 2 models just work as focal points to channel her abilities through. Wherever they are is a danger point for your opponents, and they can't do anything about them other than kill Dinah. Her one big weakness is in melee. She can go down pretty fast, but the wings can save her because she has a 50-50 chance that she can sacrifice a wing and stay alive in the game. So after that, we have the starter characters. We have Dark Cheshire, who comes in the Dark Starter, and he still has one of the most devastating melee attacks for a non-leader figure in the game. Summon, which with his base attack and damage of 5 and 5, becomes a 9 attack, 9 damage. This can single shot kill most characters that are in the game quite easily. In the newer starter, we have Bale, who is a debuffing monster. And so, of course, with debuffs, I recommend Control Bound, because it makes it that much harder to resist them. But yeah, she can paralyze, she can make one of your figures berserk, which you might want to do because it gives +1 attack and +1 damage, or your opponent's character's berserk because they have to charge and attack you. Used carefully on an enemy's mystic or supporting character, that's devastating. You berserk someone like Sophia Ilmora, so rather than helping your opponent, she's charging into battle and getting herself killed. Now in the old starter, we had Shinigami Ale, who is a warrior / mystic. She has a melee attack that can cause doom, but her real special ability is mimic damage. Any damage done to a friendly unit in your control zone, she has a magic ability that mimics the damage onto an opponent. Now armor doesn't help them, so if your opponent gets off some devastating 20-point damage, they have to risk getting hit right back with that from Ale. It is, however, effect 15, not horrible, not great, and it is control zone. Over here we have Kairos, who is another powerful warrior, and the difference with him, he's better at range, so he has a 16-inch charge, which is far better than most of them. That competes with the charges that Wizenshaft and Azure have. He has a 16-inch ranged attack, which has bonus damage on it, and it's pretty good. He also has Final Burst, which is an AoE attack, and it's only 3 actions. He can give it an attack bonus by spending a 4th action point on it. That's quite devastating. The thing with Kairos is he tends to be a focal point for a lot of attacks. He's not any weaker than Dark Cheshire, but because he doesn't have that devastating melee ability, once he's in melee, he may have to slug it out a little longer. But again, that may not ever happen because of his devastating charge. Then we have Samael's other 2 light characters, Aoi and Janelle. Aoi is a straight-up support character. She has a ranged attack, that's okay, but really you would be taking her for her incredible buffs, her healing, and her ability to remove negative states from your characters. Janelle, on the other hand, the one I go with most of the time, is a warrior mystic. She can kind of hold her own in combat. She's really good at ranged. She has an ability, Mark of the Angel, which, if your opponent doesn't resist it, all of your ranged attacks for that turn are made at +2 attack. That can be pretty devastating. And she has Angel Eyes, and this is the main reason to take her, is it gives her a 16-inch control zone with a +1 on your roll to detect hidden characters. Characters like Cordelia or Lesser Raincross, of course any character in Age or Alliance, hate her because she can find them at least 16 inches away. With certain other abilities you can boost that. Now her attack boost goes nicely with a combat monster like Konosuke. He has the stats of an Empire tank. 5 armor, 25 life. The difference is that he is a damage resistance creature, which means he cannot dodge, cannot counterattack. But he has 8 attack. He heals whenever someone dies in his control zone, friendly or enemy. And, what else? Every time he gets hit, he can get a power counter to a maximum of 3. Each power counter is good for +2 attack when you want to use it. Genma, who's a work in progress for being painted, she is the ultimate summoner in the game right now, and I don't know how soon anyone will rival her. Her specialty is exclusively summoning, so unless you intend to have a bunch of summons in your party or going up against summons, she's not so useful. She can add bind points to your summons, making them stay in the game longer, and she can remove them from your opponent, making them not stay in the game as long. And she has affinity with Light, Dark, and Void. We haven't seen any Void summons yet, but she can summon every summon that's in the game, and probably for quite some time. At level 3 and having a category we haven't even seen yet. We have the Samael agent, who has as the faction agents go, is okay. Her big standout is having the flying ability, which is really nice when you're trying to protect your own fragile mystics from some of like the church flying fighters. However, they're never particularly tough, so if you do that, you may be sacrificing the character in a hope to stop the opponent. They do have some nice buffs and debuffs for fairly cheap. Yuki, who has cost me my last 2 games. In theory, she can slow your opponent down. I haven't found her to work too well. So someone tell me how you've had great success with Yuki. Nahimana, who is the closest thing Samael has to a tank. 9 defense, 1 armor, 20 life. She is not damage resistance. She goes on a 40mm base and has a charging attack which causes throw. Now, throw gets reduced when you're going up against a creature which is on a larger base size, but she's on a larger base size herself, so everything but Legacy and Grimorium is going to get thrown a good long distance. She also has a nasty ranged attack and can remove negative states. I recently did a review on her. I'll link it, let's say, here. And Momiji, who is Samael's 1 Prowler, awesome stealth assassin. I find her best used to take out your opponent's fragile characters that you need to assassinate, and also, very importantly, your opponent's other Prowlers, like Cordelia or Lesser Raincross, the snipers. She's very fast, 12-16. She has stealth. One of the things I think makes her better than other stealth characters is this thing, Kage Bunshin. She has a 1 action point ability. Once per game, if an attack would normally kill her, you use this instead. You replace her with this, and then she is removed from the board, basically. She's replaced with this thing for the turn. And she's just not there. So she's not killed, she can't be attacked. The next turn, she recovers her action points and comes back to the board and can assassinate someone else. So it's pretty nice. She gets a bunch of nice attacks, including some that cannot be dodged, which is devastating. So she is a Super Ninja Kitsune Assassin. And finally, I wanted to go over one more advantage card, Transfer Rod. Now this kind of got nerfed in the rulebook. It's no longer reactive, and you can only use it once per turn. But it's a good reason to take a Samael agent. It's still good. You activate the agent. you spend their turn giving someone else who's a mystic in your team an action point. And then they can do something that your opponent did not expect. So this is a review of all of the figures for the Samael organization currently available in Anima Tactics. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks. Bye.